Like I've had packs before. Like I opened up it was a full booster box of, what was it? I think it was Starburst. It was a Japanese booster box. And I opened up the whole thing. And every single card, I didn't notice till afterwards, has print lines. Like across like every card. All the big cards.
So just straight away devalued. You can't do anything with that.
And it's a whole box. The whole box was like that. Like,
and it's even worse as well when you like do hit on that specific, like the main money maker of that box, and that's it. Like, and you're just like, I can't do anything. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So what is the best card you own? Like out of everything, you could have one that's personal and one that's like money worth.
Oh yeah. So the Giratina I was stoked to get. That was pretty big. The most expensive one. That's easy actually. I got a Beckett's 9 first edition Dark Charizard from Team Rocket. I think it is. Yeah. So I actually won that. Nice. I won that.
It is Morokai with Toys. We're back on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7am on Spotify and 4:30pm on YouTube. We've got a Jolly Chambers back. Is it Jolly Chambers or just Jolly?
It's Jolly Chamber. No S on the end. No S on the end.
Don't get it wrong.
Whenever I search your channel, some girl comes up that's Jolly Chambers.
I think there is a Jolly Chambers as well.
Isn't that annoying when like you find your competition, you search your own name, and then the competition comes up, and you're like, for fuck's sake.
Well, yeah, it's funny you said that because originally I was going to have it under the Chamberlain. That was my original name. Like, so when I was doing the originally my channel, I don't know if you go back right to the start of my YouTube channel, it was like I tried to do music stuff first.
I did,
and that was my name was the Chamberlain. Like that was going to be my rock star name. But then there's a band called the Chamberlain. So I was like, oh crap! So I had to change it. I had to be Jolly Chamber. I was like, oh.
If you go on our channel, I was like Morokai with 2 eyes. There's a good hook there where it's like, oh, people remember that. But so many people just search Morokai with 1 eye, and if you go, it's just some German rapper.
Well, that is is it like a League of Legends character or something like that as well? So, there's some little highlights to that. But that rapper is interesting
because he's tiny as he's only got 1,000 subscribers. But if you search him, and I actually didn't mind his last song.
Yeah, the song kind of slow. I don't know what he says, but it's good.
Part of me, I said to Leo, I was like, how funny would it be if we change our intro song just to his. And just say we've had a fan send in a song. That's our new intro. Man, so you're mainly focused around Pokemon. There was a question I was going to ask. One time, me and Lee, because we're the same, we love opening cards, and for us, it's just the excitement of going to that last card.
Yeah.
We opened a Dragon Ball Z box, and we literally got an ultra rare.
Yeah, which was amazing.
And it's a $160 card, and we couldn't we were just oh my God. First off, what's the best card you've ever pulled? But secondly, have you pulled an amazing card when you've been filming your videos, been super excited, and then when you've just stopped the video, cut the camera, looked at it, you went, oh, the border's off, the edging's off, and you're watching in your head, you're going, that's $100 off. Oh my God, that's $200.
The best example, because it only just happened about 2-3 weeks ago, right? So one of the more recent sets, Lost Origin, there's the Giratina. The Giratina Alt Art, it's rare. It's a pricey card. I think it was a $400 card straight out as soon as it started, because there's always the sets always have their rare cards, right? And then you go on Instagram and YouTube, and guys are always everyone finds them in the first week. No one was pulling the Giratina. I felt like the Giratina just did not exist. No one was getting it. It was just that rare, right? So which is why the price was huge. Guys were opening up cases and just not getting this card, and I've wanted that card for the set's been out for 5 months now, 6 months. And I pulled it live on stream the other day. I did a live stream. I pulled it and I flipped out. You go back and watch the video. I'm actually super excited because it's the card I've literally been chasing. And I looked at it and the border is so fat at the top and nothing on the bottom, right? But then that wasn't even the worst part, right? Because I was no. So I'm looking at the card going, it's ungradable. It's an 7 at best, right? But the worst part is when I turned the card over, I didn't notice it that night. But next day when I looked at it, it's got white ink dots all over the back of it, I'm oh my God, it's the rarest card I've got. And I've got the worst version of it. I've got this card is I'm looking at the same thing. I was that's 400, 300, 200. It's $150 card now. I could probably still sell it for 200 maybe, but it's crappy condition.
So 10, if it was rated a 10, if it was as clean as it can get, what would have been?
I think that one's selling for nearly 1,000 or about 1,000 now. In a 10, God. I think I'm not really sure, but raw it's $400. just if it's good. Like,
mate, that's I have
that broke my heart, that one.
I remember when I was collecting, because I would collect. I actually did collect through COVID some original Dragon Ball Z cards, and my goal was to try to get the entire set.
Yeah.
Right? And I noticed on one of your videos the other night when you were showing like your desk setup and everything, you had a folder where you've nearly collected the entire set.
Yeah, that's that set, Lost Origin. Yeah, 3 cards left.
When very nice. When Pokemon YouTubers are opening these cards, you've obviously got the rarest card at the end and maybe a rare card just before it. When you're going through, is it even worth going through and looking at those average cards? Does any YouTuber get excited about like the 8 cards that are before the rare one?
No, but no. So that's just bulk, like the bulk of it. But the guys who play the game, some of those cards are worth more than you think, right? So
because they're playable.
They're playable cards, right? So I didn't know this either, right? So I just throw my bulk into tins and sell it off, right?
Yep.
And then I got another mate who plays the game, and he actually understands the game. He understands the cards, so he sells a lot of those crappy cards.
Yep.
But they're still worth like $2, $3, some of them.
So if you can get bulk of them, then obviously
I just give them away, throw them. I don't give a shit, right?
Yeah,
But then because he knows the game, he'll go through, say, oh yeah, put that to the side, put that aside. And to me, I'm like, that's just junk cards, because that's what I said. The game aspect is a whole nother
it's
side
complete
of it.
Different.
So a lot of those junky cards, you get hundreds of them. Like they add up. That's a few $100s just in junk. But, but it takes time to sell that too. Yeah, because you go on eBay now and there's 1,000 guys selling that exact same card.
Out of curiosity, I'm seeing with Pokemon, especially the newer sets, and when I say newer, maybe like the last year or so, I know that you can get those full art trainer cards, and I know they're very sought after.
Yep.
I never quite understood why they were sought after, because me personally, if there's a full art Rayquaza in a set, like a Darkrai, Giratina, Charizard, Blast, I'm no, I want the full art Pokemon or the secret rare art Pokemon. I don't want a rainbow rare trainer card, but especially more so the females, and I don't know if that's because it's Japanese culture as such, but those female trainer cards, man, some of the prices, I'm like, that just is bonkers to me. I don't understand why that is such a high price over a Blastoise, which in my opinion, I would much rather the Blastoise.
So I agree. I actually watched a video on this exact thing a week ago, actually. So I actually can answer this. I can't even remember who was doing it. It was a YouTube video, but they were saying because there's one set now where one of the girls in the Japanese set is going for $1,000 straight out of the box. Open the box, get that card, it's $1,000, and people are buying it. It's what the hell? But apparently, a lot of the artists who draw they're famous artists over in Japan. So there's that aspect of it as well. And then there's the Japanese,
sort of culture.
Look, that art is big and the anime and I don't know. I don't know much about that personally, but a lot of the artists are
That's
famous.
really interesting.
But those cards now, they're affecting the market now too, because when we get them in English, they're not worth that much. They might only be a $23 card. But then the Japanese one of it's $200
because
they're worth more. Just it's the same card, but it's it's a whole other game. The Japanese market, that's another.
Yeah, well, you're so true though, because I've seen so many Japanese openings, and I know for us again with the later sets, it's you sort of do your little card trick, and I know the whole if it's a dark border, it usually means a holo, if not higher. If it's a white border, it's not, because there's so many YouTubers out there, and they show you the code card, and straight away as soon as I see the border, I'm like, oh, dud pack. I'm like, why'd you show that? You should have just showed us the code.
Well, that's now they do the trainer gallery card too, so you can still actually get a decent card out of it. So it could be a white border, but you might still get a cool trainer or another card.
Do Pokemon do God packs?
The Japanese
they did with the Japanese one.
Oh, they've done there's heaps of error packs. I've had packs before where you pull out a couple extra, what the hell, there's the quality control on English Pokemon sets is junk, man. It's garbage.
Yeah, and some sets as well, are notorious. It's just this set's actually so incredibly hard to even get a PSA 10 card.
Yeah, there's a lot of older
they just
sets.
cut the board, it's just cut wrong or printed wrong.
I've got borders on them, right, and it's because they're supposed to be kind of curved, and one of them's a weird angle cut like that. Then you open the pack and they're all like that. I've had packs before. I opened up it was a full booster box of, what was it? I think it was Starburst. It was a Japanese booster box. And I opened up the whole thing. And every single card, I didn't notice till afterwards, has print lines. Across every card. All the big cards in it.
So just straight away devalued. You can't do anything with that.
And it's the whole box. The whole box is like that.
And it's even worse as well when you do hit on that specific, like the main money maker of that box, and that's it. Like, and that's I can't do anything. Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So what is the best card you own? Like, out of everything, you could have one that's personal and one that's like money worth.
Oh yeah. So the Giratina I was stoked to get. That was pretty big. The most expensive one. That's easy actually. I got a Beckett's 9 first edition Dark Charizard from Team Rocket. I think it is. Yeah. So I actually won that. Nice, I won that. I'll give a shout out to Boss Collectibles. He does like towers and like ripping ships and all that. He's a grouse guy. Like, I've met him a few times now, and he sells me pops and like, you know, cards. But here I actually won that in like a wheel of names. You know, like there's like 100 people on the wheel of names. I got the last name and I was like, oh my god! And like, so shit. So I was like a Beckett's 9. So I think that one is worth. Oh, I think I saw one down the road, actually. They were selling it for like 1,500. So whether it's actually 1,500, like I went online and the people are selling it for 2,000, 2,500.
Yep.
But it's still such a cool card to have.
I could get 1,000 for it, I think.
Yeah.
Like if I was just to sell it.
Because at home, like I got into it again around, sort of that Evolutions time. My first pack that I hadn't bought in ages, it was like a full art Houndoom EX. And I was like, oh my God. And because I obviously got the hit, then I had the itch to be like, I'm kind of intrigued now. I want to get back into it.
Yeah.
My most sought after card that I have, and I was fortunate enough to get it as a present from a friend, is a PGA 6, just jungle Scyther, like Holo Scyther and all that. And I'm just like, I know it's a 6, and like, value-wise, it's not a lot, but to me, I'm like, like my favorite Pokemon, like it's graded, like that to me is so cool. I've got a few Mega Charizard EXs. I even got like a Rayquaza like V-Star card and stuff like that from like the newer sets and stuff like that. But for me, like, just the art alone of the cards is so cool. And like sometimes like that's what makes a card to me, like not so much like the monetary value of the price. Yeah,
and that's the thing that like you got to try and get that out of your head too, like the monetary, because sometimes you do just enjoy, like there is cards I have and they're like $5 at max, but I like the art's sick on that. And like, you know, you're doing it's a cool card, and like, but then you might pull that same card like 20 times and you're sick of pulling it, like, I don't care about that anymore. But like, the art's pretty good, and that's what keeps people sucked in, right? Like, and I was actually talking about this the other day with a mate. Like that Pokemon figured it out, right? Like I'm 35 collecting cards essentially that are for kids, but not really. And then I'm still getting excited and like enjoying the artwork of like cartoon characters, right?
Yep.
It's a weird thing, but that's what's enjoyable about it. If they were crappy, like, that's why like I tried collecting sports cards again. I kind of do. I like UFC cards. I like the UFC, so I collect the UFC cards. But they're not as interesting. It's just a photo of a guy. Right?
I feel the exact same with the Digimon cards that came out. Because I remember when the Digimon cards first came onto the market, well, like the newer ones, I should say, sorry. And I was like, these look cool as, but then, because I'm not involved in Digimon compared to Pokemon, I'm not looking at it, and I'm like, I wouldn't, like, yes, this card's shiny and it looks, but I would have no idea if there's any value to this anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I just feel like Pokemon, it's so sought after. We all, I would like to think most of us have grown up with Pokemon ourselves, so, like, there's just that better connection. And I just think what Pokemon are doing with their cards has just worked. Like their format, the way they make the cards look, all these different ones. Even now bringing back EX cards. Yeah. So like you get to relive that again if you already like lived through that.
Nostalgia thing. They're very good at like leaning into that nostalgia. Like they brought out celebrations, the 25-year celebrations, and they had the original like Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur. And it was cool because everyone was like hunting again, and then you're like, like they know, like they're smart. When Pokemon wants to, they'll release a grouse set. But for every good set too, they release absolute junk sets too.
That's like Battle Styles. I hated that set. When that dropped, I got nothing but like...
There's that, Rebel Clash, the Sword and Shield, the whole Sword and Shield era. Like the first 3 or 4 sets were pretty junk.
I remember even just a Sword and Shield, the very first booster, everyone was like, you could like actual pack placement.
Yeah.
Of like, it'd be like, that one's not going to be a hit, that one's a hit, that one's not a hit, that one's a hit. And you're just like, like how do you like stuff up the thing? And then I know as well, like even just how far the cards have come in the sense of like, this pack's weighed, this pack's unweighed. Like if you go like right back to the start.
I know a few guys have tried weighing packs and then they still get screwed. So like, like I've seen a few of those, but it happens. Like you can weigh the older ones. You can weigh. People say you can weigh the new ones, and then they do videos of where they weigh it and they open it, and then they're not. It's Pokemon's onto that too. They figured out, oh crap,
Well, I got 2 questions real quick. How you said you need to finish off that set. And you had 3 cards. Yep. Are you going to continue on buying packs hoping for those cards, or are you just going to go on eBay and just...
I was about to say, that was a question as well.
Yeah, so like at the start, I was just continually buying packs and just buying packs into the ground, right? And then you start to realize some of those other rarer cards, like a lot of them are like $20, $30. But if I'm going and buying 6 packs at a time at $6, I'm spending more risk. You know what I mean? Like, and I did that for ages. Like I'll be the first one to say I spent way more money. Like what I like to do now is I'll buy 3 booster boxes. because then I get 3 videos out of it for YouTube.
Yep.
And then I'll probably still buy packs here and there, but I just go to the card store and just buy them
get
now.
your single ones that you need.
So with that big set that I was completing though, that was all packs. That was nearly all packs to get all the base stuff, and then I had to buy like a last few of just the reverse holos. And then the bigger cards, I was actually lucky because I pulled the 2 biggest. So the 2 biggest was that $400 one, or even though it was jacked, or and the other one in that set was like $200-300. I actually pulled that as well. It's like, thank God, otherwise I would have to buy those.
That's a fair effort.
So yeah, there's only one more card in there that's expensive. I got to buy it. It's only like it's about $100, but it sounds like a lot. But it's if I go and buy like
compared to
a
like
bunch
how
of
much
packs to not get that card, it works out to be better just to spend $100 and just get it. And like you meet guys and you can trade cards too, yeah, because like you end up with so many doubles. Like I've started selling
and people obviously
trade,
after those cards as well, so it might be like
so it ends up being cheaper anyway, like in that aspect too. You always got to try and find a way to make it cheaper because it's like it's a money pit, man.
It is. Well, if you don't have to say the number, but surely every collector has done the math on their haul. Like if I was to sell today, take time frame out of it. Completely take time frame where like you're going to wait and do the postage and all that.
Oh yeah.
Do you have that figure in your head? It's like if I sold today minimum, this is what I'm getting.
Oh, no, I started selling a lot more off recently. So I have a cabinet in Bayswater I just sell there. And so I don't really have a lot of, oh no, actually I lied. I did add up some the other day. So I started buying like the blister packs, I was saying the Evolving Skies ones because they're like $6 at Kmart.
Yep.
But everyone knows they're not worth $6. At Kmart, love Kmart. They're like not in the business of Pokemon, right? Like they actually released, I don't know if who knows, the new set's out next week, Yep. Kmart released it yesterday, the idiots, right? So like everyone was like, all the guys in the group, like Instagram groups are going, get to Kmart now, get to Kmart now. The idiots are like, and I went there and they had like 100 packs of the new set. It's not out till next month, like next week.
Oh, you're kidding.
They stuffed up bad. Even, so I went bought.
Is it, I think it was Shining Fates, and I remember the little tin that's maybe worth like $15-18 and it's like, I think like the 3 boosters, but like one was always a guaranteed hit. I remember that happening, and I remember going to like the local Target because I was like, I want to jump on. Man, all the tins were gone. I was like, shit. People like when they're onto it, like people are onto it.
Well, some of my favorite TikTok videos is mainly in America. They go to where the cards are, and they'll pull up in Kmart or Targets, like underneath where they're having the cards, and it's like all dirty, dusty, never been cleaned, and there's like a few Pokemon cards from the fucking like early 2000s, like late 90s. I'm like, oh my God.
Me and Gabe, actually, the guy I was telling you before from TRA, we were talking about this the other day. Like, there's so many packs out there, like floating out there. Like he was telling me a story about how he bought like just like old sets from I think it was a deceased, like some guy's wife. Some guy passed away, and then his wife sold it.
So many people don't know the worth,
and like he like bought it, and he just like there was rare stuff, and like there's out there, all these packs are out there, there's cards out there, like,
and there's a guy that
wouldn't know where they are. They're like probably sitting in people's roofs. They're sitting like everyone's heard that story. I had Pokemon 100%. Cards, and then my mum gave them away. It's like, well, where'd she give them away to? Those cards somewhere.
The mum gave it away. I've heard so many times. The guy that I remember I sold a few things to, his massive collection. I was like, how'd you get such a big collection? Or how did you find this? Going back to like chip packets, he found Pokemon Dragon Ball Z chip packets that were full, like actually had the old chips in them. And I said, how do you find that? He's like, because you just keep asking. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, if someone's got something, keep asking, have you got anything else? He's like, the amount of mums that have been like, oh, I've actually got this. I've got another a box of things out there. He's like, I bought so many things from people where they have no idea their sons, like their son would be furious if they found out they've sold it.
And people like sell and buy stuff. Like people don't know, like I don't know. So I have to like eBay everything now, right? So I did a video earlier on where I opening up packs, and I was like, I pulled one card and I was like, oh yeah, that looks nice. I pulled another card and I got really excited about it because it was like a rainbow Pokemon card, right? Yeah. And then eBayed it afterwards. The rainbow one was only worth $12, and the other card that I didn't care about was like $200. I'm like, holy crap! Like, and that could have been like, but if some guy had like saw me straight away and was like, hey, I'll give you like $20. I'd like, yeah, $20. Yeah. I wouldn't have known yet. Like, you got to like check it. And then I got a pop the other day, which I bought from, shout out to Bus Collectibles again. I don't know if he knows this, right? But he sold me a pop for like $12. And I checked the price and it was like $80. And I'm like, I don't know if he knows, like he just sold me like a $80 pop. Like
my brother, Facebook Marketplace, if he made that his hobby, I reckon he'd make more money than his job. now.
I would say so.
The
When my
amount
brother
of
was onto it,
amount of pops, video games, he just buys in bulk because people are like, I don't want them.
Even
I'm getting
all
like
Lego sets.
Legos.
Lego's huge
Fucking
now. I'm
hell.
telling you, I'm like this close to adding
Switching
Lego
hobbies.
to it, man. I'm so
Dude,
close because I love Lego too,
Dude,
man.
I'm the exact same.
Like Pops Lego and like Pokemon, like.
It's still that like
If I ever
inner
become a
child in
multi-millionaire,
us.
that's all I'm doing from 9 to 5
Dude,
every day.
I just saw like Lego dropped like a Lord of the Rings set that has like
Yeah.
15 minutes, and I'm like, I want that so bad. Like, I love Lord of the Rings, and in my head as well, like I haven't even seen the product, but I'm like, if there's 15 minifigures that are exclusive to that, just like I said, I know for a fact I'm looking at the best part of like 300, if not more.
Yeah,
dollars.
yeah.
Like
Lego's
easy,
sick.
like
Lego,
without a
no.
doubt, and all
Oh
I'm
my
going to
God.
do is build it, and it's just going to sit there. But at the same time, I know if I'm going to look at it, I'm going to be like, that is so fucking cool.
Lego is sick. It's fun. Like I got nothing bad to say about Lego ever, but like it is so pricey, eh? Like
Oh, mate. Well, next episode we'll talk about Lego. But next step, I actually want to ask. You know how you mentioned you sell a few cards. Do you go on eBay as well?
no, I've just been selling. I want to start selling it on eBay, but yeah, I don't.
Oh, well, I want to dive into that
Yeah,
because eBay fucks you up.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, that's why. Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah.
All right, guys. That was Morokai with 2 eyes. We'll see you next one.
Boom.
Boom.